Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
Hey, welcome to Geek Fruit Retcon, where we travel back in time to a previous episode from our inglorious history on the Geek Fruit Podcast. Happy listening, you nerds.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Geek Fruit Podcast. You're listening to me, Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar. Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Identify yourself, Jishnu.
Hello.
That's what you sound like. Dinkar?
Present.
That's what you sound like. So, Geek Fruit is a independent community of Indian nerds all trying to get to one another because we're estranged. That's the only kind of introduction I can think of at this moment to put into a
true,
sentence.
though.
Yeah, and we have this podcast which comes out every week. And just last week, you guys completed 50 episodes. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Congratulations. It broke my heart to not be there for that episode, but I was there in Force Ghost spirit.
Yes, you were.
Yeah?
And voice note form.
Yes, that's kind of what I meant.
With the cellular phone.
Yeah, this is true. So, you
the
guys
force
spoke about...
is the cellular waves in the air, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Radiation.
I'm following this metaphor.
Great. All right, so cool. We have a very exciting episode planned for today. I'm going to start it off just... right at the top, say we have a lot of spoilers because we're going to be doing an entire year in review. We're going to be talking about all the cool and not so cool TV shows, books, movies, everything that came out this year, which we really enjoyed. A lot of it is going to be about some movies and their endings and maybe many deaths, maybe season arcs, how they completed, how they, went on to the next one. So we're going to be talking about those. So fair enough, I've given you a warning. So if you want to stop right now and go watch everything and then come back, we will not hold it against you for too long.
Yeah, come back after a year.
Yeah, exactly. But then what about next year?
They'll always be a year behind at this rate.
Yes, this is true. All right, cool. So we're gonna start. We're gonna start by reading off some email that we got. Dinkar, you wanna just read the email that we got this week and what it's about?
Yes, it is from our new friend Parth Garg.
Dude, this guy's killing it. He actually is making good on his thing to write in every week or so.
This
Yeah.
is what, mail number 3, 4?
Yeah, I want to say 3.
Once again, he says exam season has begun, so I may not send mails too often. Once a week, though, I can manage. Good
That's
enough.
amazing. Yeah, we
perfect.
do this once a week, so yeah.
All right, so he wants to talk about Moana.
Let's talk about Moana, but Jishnu hasn't seen it, so there's not too many spoilers in that movie.
Yeah.
Actually, there's one, but that's okay.
It's cool.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
fine.
wait.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it.
I feel that Disney's new take on the princess scene is just a company keeping up with the times. There's nothing special about there not having been a Prince Charming or a real villain because today's world has strong, independent women. Just as religion has changed its ideals, somewhat, according to the times, Disney did the same. I did not feel that this was very important. The movie was amazing, though.
That's completely fair. My only thing against that is, and why we brought it up is because remember that a lot of these stereotypes that were made by Disney themselves.
This
and,
is true.
And
Yeah.
I just feel like as a big, company, we spoke about this last time, as a huge company, like Disney, which kind of influences so many people around the world and a lot of kids and, very impressionable children, they have like a responsibility, to kind of make sure to uphold like whatever, progressive values that exist,
Yeah.
at least today's day and age. And them making a step towards, yes, like, Parth is saying, that strong independent women in as the lead character without having the crutch of a male lead or anything is development for them, even though it's breaking from their own created stereotypes. Yeah. So I think that's...
I guess what
good.
he's saying is it's the basic thing we can expect from them now. True,
Agreed,
but also,
agreed.
yeah, I mean...
But strong independent women is the basic thing now you're saying with Disney?
With Disney
As in
just
for the
being
Disney
progressive
princess-
in general,
Yeah, series.
we should expect that from them.
My other thing is
yeah,
that...
is that a problem?
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
no, that sounds like a good thing.
It
right?
is a good thing.
It
no,
is, yeah.
But I'm saying it is a good thing for Disney. I mean, like, people should not make a big deal out of it, but we're making a big deal because it just means progress. That's it.
I guess so.
The other thing is that about the villain, I think you do it like a movie does need a good villain, man. That's what creates change for, protagonists.
Conflict is important.
Yeah, what is Star Wars or Star Trek without a good villain? So, I mean, I'm fully on board for a movie having a villain. And also... there's a lot of internal conflict that can drive a film, but like I prefer it being in the shape of a menacing whatever. You know, it's cool. It's
Cool
it's,
dude with a mask.
Unless
Yeah.
you find that Civil War balance.
Yeah,
but you need like 12 years of backstory to back you.
Exactly, but there's also like Zemo in that film, who is like an ultimate villain. Like, we should talk about that at some point. But Zemo is a fantastic villain because he's the one who says, empires fall not when you just crush from one side, you crush from the inside. And so, yeah, that was great. Cool.
The Rock has done an amazing job of, basically being a cocky guy for the first part. Hats off. All the people were epic, actually. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Point number 3. On a side note, Pokemon Go has come out officially on the Google Play Store for India.
Yeah, this is true. I saw somebody on the flight playing, actually.
Unfortunately, at the time where everyone stopped playing it.
Yeah.
So, well...
We're going to talk about Pokemon Go in a bit also, so we'll get to that.
P.S. The trailer for the next Fast and Furious, loved it. Amazing twist with Dom being evil. But wasn't his girlfriend evil in movie 6 or something?
4. They redeem her in 6, I think. Yeah.
Do you feel like it's a missed opportunity that they didn't call it F8 of the Furious? Like Fate
of the Furious?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wait, it's Fate of the Furious, correct?
Yes, it's the Fate of the
Why
Fate
is
of
the
Furious.
Fate not an F8?
Yeah, it is the 8th film?
It's the 8th.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
There's been
Dinkar,
8 Fast and Furious movies.
You should have called them out on that.
I haven't seen
Let
a
me call
single
Vin
Fast
right
and
now.
Furious
What
movie.
are you saying?
I haven't
Not
seen
even
either.
one?
I might have seen the first one, but I might be confusing it for Need for Speed Underground.
That
Because
is
that's
a
the
game.
same- yeah, that's
I
not
know,
a
because it's the
movie.
exact same thing. I might be thinking of just like a random cutscene from that video game. Be like, I think that was Fast and Furious. I haven't seen any
They are-
of them.
Extremely entertaining films.
Yeah.
They're like Bollywood films, basically.
I'm sure
Pretty
they are.
much,
Yeah.
Without the songs.
You haven't even seen Tokyo Drift?
Actually, that's
the... No?
That's the only one I haven't seen, though.
Well, it's the worst one, I think.
I came in when The Rock joined the cast. Then I was
He
just
joined in
like...
5, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He joined in 5.
You
and
came
then,
in at 5.
Yeah, and then I watched like the rest. They were on TV and stuff,
Yeah.
so I kind of got them.
Can you name all the Fast and Furiouses?
Okay. Fast and the Furious.
No.
That's the first one. The first one is The Fast and the Furious.
The Fast and the
Okay,
Furious.
The
correct.
Fast and the Furious. Second was Too Fast, Too Furious.
Hell yeah.
Jesus.
The worst movie in the world, only equal to Hype Out in the Chamber of Secrets. Okay.
Correct.
Then, number 3 is Tokyo Drift.
Yes.
Number 4
I think
is
it's The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo
Tokyo Drift.
But
Yes,
I'll give it
okay.
to you.
Then there's Fast and the Furious.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious is the 4th one.
Yes.
Okay. The 5th one is Fast 5.
Yes.
Then there's Fast 6.
Oh, is it Fast 6?
Yeah, it is Fast 6.
Okay.
Then the one before that was
Fasting for Ramadan.
No, it was set in Abu Dhabi. The last one was the Furious 7.
Furious 7.
Yeah.
So Fast 5, Fast 6 and Furious 7.
Yeah, and
All
that's
right.
the Fate and the Furious.
I actually lost track after 4 of what the titles were, so I'll give it to you.
Oh,
Full
yeah.
points. Well
I've seen
done.
it. I have seen them.
Yes.
Dude, there's a submarine in this movie. That's all I can say.
They're basically just looking at their keyboards and like naming them according to function keys now. Like
I-
F9, I guess.
I applaud you guys for how much you give a shit. It's very impressive.
This is my job, man. Okay.
All right.
Alright. The Transformers trailer. Prime is dead? How? But the next second he's pummeling Bumblebee. What?
I still haven't seen it
He's
yet.
the Dominic Toretto of
You didn't let me
Transformers.
finish.
Oh.
What is going on? Yeah, continue.
The last dude, Anthony Hopkins speaking. It was so. I watched the trailer last night when
Wait,
I got
Anthony
back home.
Hopkins is in this movie?
He's in this movie, okay? And it's
Jishnu, name all the Transformers movies.
Oh, okay. Transformers 2.
Revenge of the Fallen.
That was 2?
Yeah.
What was 3 then?
No, I think it was 2 Transformers, 2 Transforming.
Two Transformers. No, and then 3 was
Dark of the Moon,
Dark
no?
of the
Dark of the-
Dark
no,
that
was
was
it?
the second one. Third one was Revenge
Oh,
of the
wait.
Fallen. Fourth
Right.
one was Marky Mark and the Transformers.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny. He has one line in this trailer, and that line is like
transformations.
he has like one line in the whole trailer, and he's like, "Hey, we gotta go, okay?"
That's a solid Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, and it's got Anthony Hopkins.
This is number 6?
Five.
5? I don't even know anymore.
It's
okay,
bad.
This
It's
is the last
terrible.
night,
It
right?
looks terrible.
What's it called?
The
The
Last Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Then it'll be the Last Night Rises, obviously, after
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. Is that the mail then?
That's the mail then.
All right,
Cool.
Parth, you
Thanks.
gave us so much fodder. Thank
Thanks,
you so much
guy.
for that. We're actually going to cover a lot of this maybe in another episode in which we repeat what we did earlier this year, which is what we're going to do in this episode. It's like a time travel thing, where we're going to be talking about all the things that are coming up in 2017. Very exciting. So without further ado, shall we take a break and come back and just dive right into 2016, Age of Franchises?
Dunzo.
Hi, I'm May, and I'm a huge huge fan of the indie music scene in our country, a scene that's relatively underground, even though it sometimes speaks its head overground, but there's no shortage of talent, and I get the privilege of interviewing some of the most awesome musicians on my show. I've had the likes of Euphoria, Krish Kale, Hardcore, Randolph Correa. I've had singer-songwriters, folk singers, electronic music producers, playback singers, rappers, fusion artists, instrumentalists, classical musicians, and so on. Whether mainstream or not, these people have chosen to release their original music, and these are the people currently shaping the direction in which our music scene is heading. Join me on my show every Monday and tune in to discover the unique talent coming out of India today. You can catch Made in India on your favorite podcasting app or our very own IVM podcast app.
Hey guys, we're back and we're talking about the year 2016 in review in terms of pop culture, television, movies, books, things like that. I have Dinkar and Jishnu with me. What's up?
What's up?
All right.
Yup.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna call ourselves out on a few predictions that we had made earlier this year. Jishnu and I did an episode called. It was actually our second second episode. All right. It basically had us rattling off like all the big franchise movies coming out this year, and we just gave our very preliminary, I'd say, thoughts on him. So. Yeah, and we made predictions actually whether it's going to be epic or fail, if I remember correctly.
I have zero recollection of this.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna go through that list right now, and we're gonna be playing clips from that episode. If you want to hear the episode in its entirety, you can go back. It's all on Savan. It's episode number 2. It's called 2016 Age of Franchise. But we're gonna play back some of it right now.
Ready?
Are you
3,
serious?
2, 1, go.
Deadpool, Batman vs Superman, The Jungle Book, Civil War, X-Men, Warcraft, Finding Dory, The BFG, Star Trek Beyond, Ghostbusters, Jason Bourne, Suicide Squad, Gambit, Inferno, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Moana, Rogue One, and Assassin's Creed. All right, so the first thing we can take away from that,
Gambit?
Gambit's gone.
I guess that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Somebody was just like, no, cancel. All right, wow. Okay,
That was a lot of movies.
That was
We saw most
those are
of
20 movies.
Something like that.
Wow, that's crazy. I think we saw most of those, and then some.
And
And
other
then some,
movies.
yes,
Yes,
yeah,
and
yeah.
other different movies.
Yes,
Non-franchise ones as well. Assassin's Creed we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, because
That's
that is
not out yet. That's
yet to come out. Yeah, or at
about
least
a week from now.
it would have come out by the time this episode airs. So, so let's see. Or is it out already?
No,
I'm
it's
sure.
not. 30th
Okay.
December, I want to
Yeah.
say.
So yeah, looking forward to that one. We still have. I can't believe if the year is still not out. Yeah, and we still have another franchise movie. At least what seems could be a franchise or could not, depending on how well it does. Should we talk about some of those movies? I have a list also.
All right.
Yeah, which
Do
I
it.
thought we should. I'm not going to rattle this one off, but I just off the top of my head while I was on my way here, I was just like, what are the biggest moments from this year that would stand out in our memories? So I've titled it WTF moments or WTF did I just watch moments.
Right, sure.
Because it's not good or bad. It's both actually. It can be good, it can be bad as well. So number 1 I have on my list is Giant Man from Captain America Civil War. That was the first moment I could think of that really was like, what? I think all of us had that
Great
moment in the
moment,
theater.
yeah.
Yeah.
Smurfly.
Most deaf.
Yeah, I think I feel like at the end of this episode or something, I don't know if we're going to do this here or on the website, but we should probably talk about what our favorite movies of this year. But even if we do, I'm just going to call it right now. Civil War is like way up there on my list.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Without
that movie
question.
was fantastic. It's still like it set such a benchmark that even watching Doctor Strange, I was just like, man, you've ruined it for me because you've set it so high now.
Yeah.
I can tell you, like, with no particular order, my 3 biggest WTF moments, definitely the Giant Man thing. Han.
That was from last year, though.
That wasn't this last.
That was December.
technically.
Yeah,
That was
so
15.
I was thinking-
right. Okay.
I
Okay.
thought
Sure.
about
Fine.
it.
Okay. Fine. So if you're not counting that, then the other would be. Oh, I just had it. Arrival.
So I've put that. It's down as Amy Adams is a 4th dimensional being.
Yeah.
Definitely that was. It was not so much as like it's completely opposite from the whole Giant Man thing where you're just like struck by it, but it was more of like a creeping realization as you watch the film. So yeah, man, that was incredible, and I don't think I was listening to the score of Interstellar like I do when I like to be on flights because it just makes me feel like this is really important. But yeah, man, I mean, Interstellar is a fantastic movie, and I can't help but compare it to Arrival. But man, there's something about Arrival, which is just like it's so much more human and so much more relatable than Interstellar in that way. And I think that's what makes it amazing. Right.
More haunting.
Yes. Let's just hear what we said about Civil War before we saw it. Let's go to the big one. This is the one we're both excited for. Marvel's Captain America Civil War, May 6th. I feel like the trailer guy now.
Very excited. Only thing that I'm not too excited about, but I'm hopeful because I have a lot of faith in the Russo brothers, is the fact that they're putting Bucky at the center of this again. Because in Winter Soldier, which is arguably maybe my second favorite in the MCU.
Yeah, I think my favorite. But
I never cared too much about Bucky in that movie. But that being said, somehow I loved that movie, even though the main antagonist wasn't that interesting to me.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're bringing him back, I'm like, him again? Well, then again, they did make a really great movie out of that. But I know that he's somehow gonna be like, once again, a sort of instigator for the Civil War to happen. So I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that maybe he's not going to be the center of attention for very long. Maybe at the very beginning, like we've seen in the trailer, he escapes after he's like
caught in the vice.
Caught in the vice. He's unbrainwashed. By
we don't
know.
Avengers. We don't know how that's happened. By the way, they've not explained how he's been unbrainwashed. I think he just remembers towards the end of. No, he remembers at the end of Winter Soldier because he saves his life and he puts him on the beach and that's it. And then he moves on. So I don't know whether he's like finally remembered everything and how he's come into that position. But yeah, man, like what I've always felt is like I like Winter Soldier because he serves a great purpose in telling Captain America's story, which is like, this whole man out of time thing and stuff. And Winter Soldier is like this, Bucky is this one character who throws back to who he originally was. And, and he's like the one piece of history that he has. Not including, of course, Peggy, but she's like too old right now. So, I think Bucky is important less as an antagonist, more as like, just like a reminder for Captain America that there's a history to his own life and a way that the world used to be that he's very, accustomed to that now and is changing. So I think that is more of like,
I love the value of Bucky.
Yeah, the value
I just don't like the idea of him being the core focus, which I don't think he will be.
Because right now it's going to be the whole. But yeah, man, adapted from a great comic, I think it's going to be a great film. It looks really serious. It doesn't look like a superhero film. It looks like a political film. That's what we've always loved about Captain America. I think it's going to be epic.
Epic is all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet. Well, we called it right, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, we got everything pretty much, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, apart from the fact that you thought Bucky was not going to be the center of the film, which he is.
No, I think I called it as it was. Then like it instigates the thing.
You weren't sure what to expect.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, none of us could have predicted how well they would have handled this film.
Yeah. What I guess surprises me is the fact that we did call it pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
But that's not a problem because normally the worry is that like, oh, it's too predictable and I know what's going to happen. And while we got it right. It was. That's what makes this film so amazing. It's it's the balancing act of just doing what you would expect to happen, but it's how it gets done. It's not. It's that whole.
That's why I keep
the way
saying.
You tell the story,
I keep saying this about a few movies. Like every time, I love it when I usually like to go in for films with low expectation, but like when you go in with high expectations and then even those are
exceeded.
That's when you're just like, this is the greatest time ever, right?
Yeah,
so this is like that's exactly what this film did for me. I think Arrival did the same. Absolutely. I mean, like I had very high expectations. And then it like blew my mind.
I didn't have high expectations for Arrival. I didn't know what to expect, which is a different place to be. And I had very high expectations of Civil War. Those were completely shattered.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. It was awesome. All right. So yeah, we had Giant Man from that. I have my second WTF moment, which I think is become like it's a meme now. It's the Martha the Martha scene. I think that will go down in history as one of
the entire world face-palmed in one moment.
In one moment.
It's a symbol of how messy that movie was.
I think so. That's the symbol. He's like, if I could be a symbol, what
would that be?
Is Martha. Yeah.
Why did you say that name?
It's one of those moments which it's like it's as. Probably it's gonna go down as like as bad as one of the Joel Schumacher kind of moments, like
it's Ice to Meet You and Martha at the same level.
Yeah,
no, they are. I mean, like it's
I
just
think
as
it's
like
a new
goofy,
evolved version of it. It's that super self-serious kind of version.
Yeah.
I mean, I think back now on BVS, but I think back on it slightly more fondly because I still like a lot of it. It's weird. I really want to like that film so bad.
But I think in moments like that is where it drops to Ice to Meet You. Though I felt like it was a very ice moment. They're talking about their moms. Let's listen to what you guys thought of what you were expecting for BVS.
Ooh.
BVS.
I know, right?
BVS, Dawn of Justice.
Dawn of
Just
J.
cannot wait.
Dawn of J, indeed. Yeah, man. You know my thoughts on this. I didn't like that trailer
Oy.
very much at all. Yeah. I'm scared. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm scared for not as much as for this film as just for the entire DC universe, man. If this is going to be, is this supposed to be the jumping off point for many of the characters? The only thing we haven't seen right now in this film is Aquaman and, say, Cyborg, who has, I think, even minor role. What do you think, man?
Like, after that trailer, I just really...
Yeah. Okay, so let's not bash it completely. Let's do a proper analysis of it. The main really bad things about that trailer, which strike out for me, Lex Luthor, for one, it's this weird interpretation of it. When in my head, I really wanted to see like a Mark Strong kind of villain.
I wanted to see Kingpin. I really wanted to see like that kind of a...
Vincent D'Onofrio,
and it's not
yeah.
just because they're both bald, but I mean, have that sort of...
That big
like,
gravitas.
just huge, when you walk in the room, the presence that you have.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get it eventually. I mean, Eisenberg has some chops. He could do it if he's directed well, but then like Snyder, I'm always on the fence with Snyder.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, like, he just seems to be like this, the Social Network villain kind of villain,
at this
right?
point.
Not like how Mark Strong is, like, Sinestro, like like one of the good parts of, the only probably good part of Green Lantern is he got this really strong villain in Mark Strong. And it's like, I always felt like he could be such a good Lex Luthor because he's supposed to be calculating and menacing and he's supposed to be the smartest man on the planet, at least in the DC universe. And just, it doesn't come across at all.
But apart from Luthor, I have faith in Ben Affleck.
Yeah, looks good.
Seeing him in the thing finally, I was like, okay, I'm convinced. I can see him doing it, and like, they look right.
Yeah.
This I was never worried about. Zack Snyder, like, his visual style is amazing.
Great. Yeah.
So that way it's going to be a visual treat. But yeah, it's just that story.
I don't know.
How
Other
it's gonna
thing, when
play
you say
out.
visual treat though, like, I'm just hoping it's not too much CGI also, like what Doomsday looks like at the end of the trailer. And we've got pretty much the entire story. Right? We've seen Batman and Superman's first meeting. We've seen the introduction of Lex Luthor in that sense, like at this party, which is there right at the start. We know that it's already that scene, that whole thing of him in the waistcoat, in the trench coat is like a nightmare because of some of the toys that really. And I think they did they tried to do a retraction where they said, no, there's a lot more. You guys haven't seen anything yet. That's just one part of it. Doomsday is just one part of it. But I think that's the third act pretty much. And that's when Wonder Woman and all these guys are gonna, realign themselves to form like the Alpha Justice League.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. What a shame, though.
Let's move
what
on.
a shame that we have to move on, not discuss it more thoroughly. Okay, let's go.
Epic or fail?
I think epic fail. Oh!
Ooh, that bad.
Right in the start of the year.
Damn, son.
I don't know. I hope for Batman's sake that it's good. Like for Ben Affleck's sake that it's good. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's March 25th, by the way.
Wow.
So
Man.
what
We're so good at our jobs.
I know. You thought it
not
was
a
a
good thing.
shame we couldn't discuss it more, but
most
of our year has been discussing BVS.
I still don't want to discuss it more. And what amuses me is that at the end you mentioned that they would try to defend it, like, no, you haven't seen everything yet. There's a secret third balls.
There wasn't anything.
There was nothing.
I think
There was nothing.
the only thing that we hadn't seen, which really excited me and could possibly be the plot for next year's Justice League, is the whole Flash returning.
coming in for a second.
Yeah.
That made me excited. Like, there are a lot of
Yeah.
things in this movie which really got, like, when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that's cool, right? Because it's going to be great. But then, with the Adobe files, it's just like, there's a lot of bad stuff in this movie that just does not save it.
Yeah.
And you were right, man. Batfleck is
the
literally
only saving grace.
the greatest thing in the
Yeah.
DC universe right now.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from what looks to be a good Wonder Woman film. But, yeah, man.
She was great, though.
She
in
was-
a way you
She
didn't
was
expect
great
as much.
in that, like, I'll be honest, I don't think her job was that hard.
She had to
Because
be
she didn't have
powerful,
much.
strong.
Yeah, had to be strong, silent type. Look
I mean, she had
badass.
a couple of nice scenes with Ben Affleck where she
Yeah.
was like,
She
came
held
up-
her own.
She came out on top of that
Right, I mean,
conversation.
so I've only
Bruce
seen
Wayne.
it the one time, and actually
Yeah.
it was just a few days ago that I was contemplating watching the Ultimate Edition, which I haven't yet. And I opened it up. I opened it up on my computer. I saw the 3-hour time
I
code,
knew it, I
and I
knew
got
it.
scared shitless. I was like, nope, sorry.
It is a scary prospect.
And so instead, I just watched like The Hateful Eight again. I was like, I'd rather watch 3 hours of that than
Okay.
3 hours.
I feel like the problem with
BBS.
this movie was it had a collection of really exciting moments, great moments, and terrible moments. It just doesn't all come together
So
as
there's some
a
of
decent
the
movie.
parts are not equal to the.
And
yeah.
and
Yeah.
the exciting moments were pretty few and far between. Like at least from my one viewing recollection.
Because
I only
shot
got
themselves in the
excited,
foot by revealing all that
Yeah,
footage, like
that was a
revealing the
shame.
Justice League in the
Yeah.
trailer. I mean, they had to get something to get people in the theaters after the first few negative, like, kind of reactions to it. But and I want to take away from this. I don't think Lex Luthor is as bad as I probably thought he would be. Yeah, he has that
Yeah.
weird Shah Rukh Khan thing
It's a
going on.
different
Yeah.
take, but I thought it was interesting.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's a less potential there for sure. I think
He's
with
still around, right? I mean,
he is. He's going to be apparently
so
in jail
he's
as
bald
well.
now.
Maybe
he's
He's
in
bald
maybe
proper
now the
Lex
good
Luthor
stuff
mode.
happened. I don't know. Yeah.
But I think what we can all agree upon is that we're a little tired of giving the DC universe, like, these chances. They ruined Suicide
This
Squad.
is true.
Like that was the lowest moment of this year for me in
Yeah.
terms of cinema.
Yeah.
And I think
yeah.
in pop culture stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
just a wasted movie and a wasted cast and things like that. So, do you want to hear what we said about Suicide Squad?
August 5th,
Will Smith,
Will Smith's August film,
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Is it sad that we're calling it Will Smith's film? But it does seem that way.
It does seem that way. That's the only reason. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. It should be an ensemble.
Yeah, but it is. I
But
mean,
it's,
it's got the word squad in the title.
Exactly.
I mean, Will Smith's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, because I think you mentioned this to me when it just came out. Like, I can't name a movie where Will Smith has been in it and it hasn't been about Will Smith.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. He's like, he cannot, he's
Which
not a
I don't
supporting
mind.
actor.
I don't mind. I love Will
He can
Smith.
carry a film.
Like,
he can totally carry a film.
I cannot tell you how much I love that man.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm excited that he's going to be in this movie, but yeah, rightfully so. I don't think that it's fitting for him to be who he is in an ensemble-based film.
Yeah.
You know,
So, I mean, we've spoken about it. Like, it looks really caricature. It looks very comic booky.
It does.
So that's cool. I like that Amanda Waller, very important character from the comics, is there in it, played by Viola Davis. So that already speaks really well. Big part of this film, Jared Leto's Joker. What do you think?
curious. I've always been a fan of Jared Leto.
It's going. That's the real divisive epic or fail. It's going to be one of them.
It is. But here's what I'm really most intrigued to see: if this works, if this does succeed in some, even if it's not like amazing, but if it does, do relatively well, and it is, and it, does well in the box office. I'm curious to see if this sort of sets, or rather resets, what superhero movies could be for the DC universe.
It's true, yeah.
Because Marvel have their thing down. We know exactly what their archetype is now.
Their
for the superhero
formula,
movie, the
yeah.
formula, and it works, and it's great, and we love it. But you cannot deny that superhero movies are getting saturated, and like the way in which they work, and the structure and the engine is very repetitive now, and we've seen it all, and we know
Saw
it's
it
like,
in Ant-Man, dude, last year itself. Yeah.
well, so now with Suicide Squad, if they are trying something totally new, could they set a new precedent for DC's rebuttal to Marvel? Because BVS is sort of kind of doing the Avengers assembling kind of thing for Justice
so
League.
quickly, right?
Right, so it might be a little too quick. So then maybe Suicide Squad is trying to be completely different and say, let's just throw a wild card in and put somebody like Will Smith who will put butts in seats for this movie.
Butts and seats.
Right?
Yeah.
So people will watch this movie.
Yeah.
And Will Smith can deliver. Jared Leto could potentially deliver. He's always done it before.
He's a great actor, there's no doubt.
So
Yeah.
the gamble is, let's try something completely different. And if this works, then we can follow this up to fight Marvel's monstrosity of the MCU and
Yeah.
Netflix and, Agents of
it's
S.H.I.E.L.D.,
true.
which...
With Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, they had the time to kind of really do it individually because it was unprecedented. And now that it exists, I think DC's they were trying to catch up anyway. So Man of Steel, was the first one. They did well. BVS already throwing in 4 more characters. And with Suicide Squad, there are so many characters. Man, Suicide Squad, so much to talk about.
Fingers crossed for Epic.
I hope it's good,
I
man.
really hope it's epic.
And Batman is there in it also, so that's going to be cool. That's going to be interesting. So epic or fail, man, Jishnu?
Epic.
Oh no! Oh god! That was Jishnu. Is your faith in the Fresh Prince shaken?
Hell no.
We were right. He was the only thing.
He was the
that
only
carried the
redeeming
film.
thing in that
Yeah.
movie, man.
They
was
didn't
good.
let him carry the movie. I feel is the
They
problem.
didn't, yeah. But I'll be honest, I fell asleep with my eyes open listening to that again because I just
I
can't.
felt-
I can't
yeah.
talk about Suicide Squad anymore. I just
Yeah.
can't. I really don't give
We
a single F.
we were very hopeful and we were extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
Let's just
It was
put
a terrible movie.
It was.
That's
It
not-
was
This is
terrible
literally the
movie.
5th or 6th time we're talking about this one movie in this past year.
Because
Fifth
it
or
was
sixth episode.
terrible
Like,
in such
why
a
is-
spectacular
Because
way.
this- the movie that comes
it
out.
really,
Oh, God.
that's so true. It was a very humongous failure.
Yeah.
In terms of like story and everything. I mean, it was a waste. But we were right in calling out that, these solo films are going to happen. Now, Deadshot is apparently he's going to appear in the Batman film.
Yeah.
And Harley Quinn is getting that kind of solo-ish film. It's
She's
called
getting something.
Gotham
Yeah.
City Sirens,
Yeah.
which might have Huntress, Katana, all the major females from the DC universe in that film, and it's going to be again directed by David Ayer. So I wonder how that's going to turn out.
I have no idea.
The fact that he still seems super interested in doing it, unless he's getting a huge check for it, which is probably what's happening.
Probably that too.
Yeah.
I feel the problem with DC with the two movies has been that they had so much potential, which they just threw away.
Yeah.
And even now, like when we talk about Gotham City Sirens, so much potential there. That sounds like an amazing movie.
Yeah, especially if you've
But
seen Birds of Prey. Did you ever watch that show, Birds of Prey?
No.
Which had Katana and Huntress and all that stuff. It was cool. It was like basically like Smallville type, but like with all the females from the. It was only one season, but it was cool. It was really nice. And imagine if they got somebody like Joss Whedon or something to do it. Like, it would be great, right? Like, you wouldn't go wrong. Joss Whedon would not go wrong, but he wouldn't be hired either.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
that's a big
cool.
problem.
So
Maybe
that was...
we'll see more of Katana other than like one nod.
And talking to her sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Man,
mess
because I
with her.
love Katana. Shit, man. They
Her
really
blade
ruined
traps souls. Let's not talk about it again.
it. Oh, man.
Anywho.
That was sad. It's making me sad now, just to think about it. Let's just
Let's
move on.
move along,
Let's move on. I had another
Okay.
Was there anything else on your
WTF.
list?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do have another moment in this. Oh, sorry. Number 4 was Enchantress dancing in Suicide Squad. That was
a
WTF.
genuinely WTF
Right.
moment.
Yeah.
I blanked that out
Yeah.
completely. I totally forgot about that.
All right. I have another one. This one kind of moves into the more of the TV space, but I'm gonna lead it in through an announcement that happened for The Defenders, which is coming out next year, and Sigourney Weaver being cast as the villain. That was one of the big. I mean, like that was a huge announcement, and I thought that was really interesting to take such a high-profile actress and bring her to this Netflix universe to give it so much more credibility now and just so much more authenticity, and that to get her to play a villain, which she'll be excellent at.
Yep.
So I just wanted, I thought we'd just move into TV and talk about Luke Cage that happened this year, as well as Jessica Jones.
Yes.
So what did you guys think? Overall, now if you look back at the Marvel Netflix universe, and what thoughts do you guys have now from that?
Nothing that would surprise you. It's really solid. Everyone has been just different enough that it's still interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for the future because they have yet to disappoint me severely at any point.
Right.
Every single season of all these shows, including both seasons of Daredevil, had their mid-season what just happened?
Yeah.
Because everything is going to have a lull once you draw it out long enough. But they always redeem themselves.
This is true.
They always opened with a bang. The first 6 episodes of every season was always amazing. Then episode 7, 8 was always a bit of a left turn, a sharper left turn sometimes than others, like season 2 of Daredevil when Elektra just pops up out of the blue. It's kind of like, well, we knew you were coming, so I'm glad to see you, but it's just kind of random.
I love Daredevil season 2.
Yeah, it was great. I don't know. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Best
Like
of
I
the
said,
three,
it
I
was
would say.
great. It was amazing. But every show had
yeah.
that, again, season 1 of Luke Cage, you kill off Marshall Ali. I was like, he was the strongest thing. Why'd you kill him?
I love Luke Cage also.
And then you replace him with Diamondback, and that was weird. But it was still
I agree.
strong
No,
ending.
there were a lot of
So,
problems in that.
nothing major to tell you about them. I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm really happy with what they're doing, and yay, go Sigourney. Because
But I
it's
like
awesome.
the idea that they're all slightly different from
Yeah,
each
that's a
other
good point,
in
yeah.
terms of tone, and yet they live in the same world. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. Like when Jessica Jones came out, the thing that I liked the most about it was just how different it felt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is true. It was a marked difference from Daredevil.
And the same with Luke Cage, with
Yeah.
a slightly different format
Yeah.
and a very different tone from
Yeah.
Jessica Jones as well, even though they're very related.
Yes, that's
So
true,
that's
yeah.
interesting.
And Luke Cage was introduced on Jessica Jones, so
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that he could go off on his own adventure, literally 3 blocks away from.
If you just look at the first maybe 3 or 4 episodes of both Jessica Jones and Luke Cage before they get into full-blown superhero stuff and superhero plot lines of like, oh, he's the villain, I'm the superhero, I need to save people because there's a damsel in distress or there's
Yeah.
a city in distress or something like that. So the first 3 episodes of both seasons are you just sort of getting to know the world and getting to know their
Yeah.
problems and what they
Yeah.
deal with. So they don't really do any quote-unquote superheroing for a while.
Yeah.
And those opening episodes...
A lot of it is
was
just story, yeah.
Was just story, right?
Yeah.
And, like, before you, like, meet the Purple Man, like, that whole, like, animated stuff about him was just so cool. And the first few episodes of Luke Cage where you just get to know Harlem and you get to, like, see the club
Yeah.
and get to hear the music for the
Dude, I
first
love
time.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
the opening for those shows has always been
Yeah.
bold as hell and, like, really cool. So that's I'm really excited to see, like, what Punisher's opening is going to be like.
Dude, so Punisher's
things
coming
like
out
that.
next year as well. So I think we made a mistake on an episode which we did previously, which I thought that next year is going to be Iron Fist and the Defenders, but apparently Punisher is slated for it as well. I don't know how many episodes it is. I think it might be a full, like, blown
Like
13
13, sorry,
episodes.
yeah.
But Defenders, as we noted, was only going to be 8 episodes. So that's
Great.
even more
Which is
interesting.
good, I think.
Great.
Yeah, but I have a feeling though that, like, the moment I watch it, I'll be like, damn, I wish there were more, or something like that. You know, it's gonna be one of those. But I'm excited for Iron Fist, so I'm excited for him to join the universe. And I think, I think Rosario Dawson's probably gonna make out with him as well. So it's great. I mean, it's great. That's what's gonna happen.
Good for her.
Actually, I don't think she does. She doesn't. It's the other, other person, and I can't remember her name right now. But yeah, so great. Defenders, one of the highlights of this year. I enjoyed Luke Cage a lot. I missed out on being in the podcast for that episode. I just really wanted to talk about it, but, like, I enjoyed Luke Cage a lot, even though flaws and everything.
Yeah.
It is far and away still one of the, like, the Netflix universe is far better than a lot of shows that we watch, like, including Flash and things like that. So yeah, cool. So that was our thing on Luke Cage and Jessica Jones this year. Next up, WTF moment. Actually, this is not really a WTF moment, but I'd written something about the entire the whole acid trip of Doctor Strange on this, but because I thought it was some standout visual effects. But movie, not so much. I think after Civil War, it was a bit of a.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't help but be like, you know.
It needs a second viewing.
Yeah.
So we'll we can take that call again upon second viewing. But yeah, you're right. It was a little lukewarm.
Yeah.
Now and again, it had cool moments.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh,
on the
definitely
whole,
had a
it
lot
didn't,
of
like,
cool moments. Yeah.
It won't really last in memory for anything other than the visual.
This is true.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Ant-Man doesn't last in memory for any particular reason.
But, you
like,
know,
it has nothing.
Ant-Man has great rewatchability.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie, and I'm sure Doctor Strange will be in the same vein.
Yeah, this
like,
is
it'll be
true.
a fun movie to watch again, but
Yeah.
like, it won't go down in infamy, kind of like how Civil War, or Iron Man 1, or
This is true.
Avengers.
True, yeah.
You know,
In fact, like, I think these movies like Ant-Man, Doctor Strange are a great way to get, like, and now that we've been in this universe for what, 12, how many
13, going
movies,
on 14 years.
Yeah. So since 2008.
Yeah.
So there must have been a whole generation of kids or whoever
Yeah.
have to come back, like, who have to enter this whole thing. And these movies are great to kind of get people into. So, like, I was trying to show Mally, the whole Marvel universe. I was like, oh, where do we start? I was like, we should just start with Ant-Man. You know, it's just like, it's just a.
You started with that?
Yeah, because it's just a really easy entry point, like, for new people to kind of watch the entire Marvel universe. And
why not at the beginning?
because I don't know. I mean, I could have. I
Yeah.
think because she had also seen, like, bits and pieces of it. But I was just like, oh, let's start fresh. Let's just start with somebody else, and then boom, we went to Ant-Man. So it's for those reasons alone, I think Ant-Man really works as a good film to have in their pocket to kind of
These are
say
your
that
gateway
these
movies.
are gateway movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting that
Because
way.
it's a weird thing to think about. It's been, so we said 13-ish years, right, since the first one. So technically, they're
Not
they're
13 movies.
30 movies. How many years though?
It's
8.
eight years.
8 years.
Yeah, which is a lot, man.
Which is a lot.
It's almost a decade.
Which means that there very well could be an 8-year-old kid out there who was born when Iron Man 1 came out.
Exactly.
And their very first movie that they were allowed to see is
Probably
Doctor Strange or Ant-Man
yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Doctor
it's
Strange
bizarre.
probably not. Just like kid is like, no, I'm good. All right, let's just see what we spoke about Doctor Strange earlier this year.
What I am really, really excited about, and I'm sure you are as well, Doctor Strange, November 5th.
I just saw that.
The photographs?
The photograph, and just
Dude,
lost my shit.
It's awesome. It looks awesome.
Oh.
I really, really think it's got
Yes.
a lot of potential.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just like
yes.
the whole cosmic, magical, mystical part of the, Marvel, universe, which they haven't really got into. This is the one, man. This is the entry point.
I'll tell you what my favorite thing about the MCU at this point is now, with the Phase 3 characters coming in, these new characters coming in.
Yeah.
With Strange, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, all these folks. What I love is that they've made such a rich universe that I'm just so excited to see other parts of it that
Yeah.
potentially would have nothing to do with it, with the pre-existing parts that we're already aware of in their own film. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah, that's true.
Guardians didn't actually reference too much other than Thanos.
Yeah.
just being referenced to and not really having too much to do with the actual plot itself.
Yeah.
They didn't really tie into the Avengers world, really. And it
Yeah,
was,
they didn't have
a
to, yeah.
self-standing film.
That's what, yeah, they were
And
trying
that's
to do,
why
yeah.
I love the fact that they don't have to constantly bring you back to make you give a shit anymore.
Yeah, this is
you
true.
can, these films will stand on their own. It's like Doctor Strange. I'm really excited to see what he does with his, whole Tibet trip that he's going to have. And,
Yeah. Excited, man.
Like
And
you said,
great cast also.
you said Spider-Man is going to be in this one, and that's
Yeah.
great. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with him.
Speculation.
Yeah,
He was on the set, yeah.
But he's such a cool character on his own. Like, I'm just happy to see him finally get a solid shot at being on the big screen. And
Yeah, and
played
also-
by a brilliant,
Yeah, Benedict, man.
brilliant
I think
guy.
that just like win right there, like from the get-go, it's gonna be, he's a great actor. And like, I think also they've, run that well dry with, with Robert Downey Jr. I think they need they need another leading guy who's
Yeah.
gonna maybe take it another 10 years ahead. But yeah, man, this film looks really great.
So excited.
Yeah,
So damn
epic. I
excited.
think we're gonna go straight up
Yep,
with epic.
absolutely.
Also, but last point of to think about, are they gonna do the same old kind of origin formula with this film? He breaks his hands, has to go to the pit, finds himself, but then loses, but then becomes the winner at the end, which is exactly every origin film, right? So I want to know how they're gonna, because they're doing so many origin films. They just did Ant-Man like last year.
Yeah.
Like 6 months ago. So I really want to see them do it like either non-linear or do it some other way. Like they can use the cosmic aspect, the magic of it to kind of tell this really bizarre way of telling the story. Like they can just use that to their advantage. So I'm a little scared about that. I don't want it to be very linear of the exact same type of origin story. There's no pleasing us fans.
Sigh.
But it was.
Wow, this is like non-linear episode for us as well. But yeah, man, I think we called it pretty much straight up as it is.
We were expecting it to be better than it ended up being, I suppose.
Yeah, I think we were excited about everything that we were excited about delivered. Like in terms of the acting, the visual effects, all the things that we like about the cosmic universe. Those were well handled.
Yeah.
But the one failing which we called out was its major
Predictable.
failing. Yeah, it was that it's
Yeah,
predictable.
yeah.
And that's the problem with Doctor Strange, I suppose.
The only thing that now I think about it that I remember my saying in our actual review of the movie after it came out was that I was excited to see how they would connect this in with everything else with the universe, being a brand new movie, origin story, 13 movies in.
Yeah.
I still stand by my statement that I think that the post-credits, the mid-credit sequence where he sits down with Thor is arguably one of the coolest, if not even cooler than the Nick Fury.
Oh,
introducing
definitely, yeah.
Tony
It was
the
very
Avengers,
exciting.
because we've never had that much of a jump in time of like just assertiveness of like, all right, I'm here bitches, what's up, let's do this now, like just because every time else is always like sort of hinted
It
at,
was a teaser,
subtle.
yeah.
This is like straight to it, like
Yeah.
cool, you're
It's
my
a
equal.
big story progress happening in one scene.
yeah.
So yeah, I think
So
that was cool. I mean, that's pretty much
that-
their introduction to each other.
Exactly.
Has
And so-
happened in the mid-credits.
So I continue to be excited at the notion that since Doctor Strange was willing to be so bold as to like jump, what normally would have taken other characters like several movies to get to that point where they're having face-to-face conversations with a different cast member about a bigger picture event. He has that at the end of his solo flick, where we're just crying about like, oh, your story was really predictable and like you fell into these tropes and it was blah 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 and it was boring and whatever.
Yeah.
But then he says, well, I have this one ace in the hole, which is I'm gonna jump the gun ahead of everybody else. So I'm excited still at the notion that like maybe when we see Captain Marvel and when Black Panther gets his solo flick, that they're gonna be like jumping several years ahead.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think it's a Marvel thing at this point where they're hurrying the universe along.
Yeah. Because the original Avengers, they took their own sweet time.
But
Exactly.
that's my thing, though. This is what I want to see, and I've said this before on the show, is that I don't want to see solo films anymore. Like I don't want to see them. Like I was completely fine with the way they introduced Black Panther, and I think Black Panther can have his own films, but do like what Thor is doing right now with Ragnarok and clubbing movies together. At so much so that at some point they don't have to have the title, Batman. They can just have The Dark Knight, or they can just have Civil War. I mean, Captain America, for all intents, for all purposes, it was just a Avengers 3.5
Yes.
or
Yeah,
2.5,
yeah,
whatever that
yeah.
is. So I just want to see arc names like, Dark Reign or,
And
the Heroic
it's
Age,
still
things like
plausible
that.
because Bucky's in Wakanda.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
you
So
never
I would
know.
love to see that kind of vibe happen. Like, imagine he could have been, he'll just be like, oh my god, we're stuck in Wakanda, these guys are attacking us, let's just get Bucky out, and then he comes out and
Yeah.
kicks ass. That would be so awesome, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Something's bound to happen.
so that's what I'm kind of excited about for the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What movies do we have coming out next year? We have 3. We have Guardians 2, Spidey, and we have Thor. Yeah, at the end of the year.
Thor is at the end of the year?
Yeah,
Nice.
November.
All right. Yeah, that's a good slate.
Big things.
All good.
All good,
I
yeah.
mean, though I have to say I was not at all impressed with the Spider-Man trailer. So,
No, I thought
but
it was
we'll talk
decent.
about that in another
Which
episode.
one? You saw both of them?
There's only one major
No,
one.
Pretty
they're
much the
two.
same,
That's
no?
the thing. No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was misled with this. Quick aside.
Okay.
There's the international trailer.
I see.
And then there's the U.S. domestic
So
trailer.
I saw the US trailer, I suppose. Yeah.
So the one that shows you like glimpses of him in school,
Yeah.
like him and his friend like sitting
Yeah.
at the lunch table.
Yeah.
So the international trailer, which is the first one that I saw, disappointed me a lot more than that one.
Oh.
And the international trailer is far more cookie cutter because I mean, as it is, the US one is pretty cookie cutter.
Yeah.
This one was. It didn't have anything really at all
Yeah,
of him and his
there's
friends.
nothing, yeah.
Which is what I was really excited about. I'm sure we'll talk about this more when we get to the
This
actual
is true,
episode.
yeah,
but
yeah.
like,
We will, yeah.
I wanted more of the John Hughesy stuff, which I keep saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
Both the trailers were just like
Let's see. We'll give it its time.
Explosion.
We'll
Yes.
give it its time.
Anyway.
All right. I have one last, I think, thing on this list. But before I get to that, I want to talk about some notable mentions, which I feel should have made it to this list, but could not.
They were
for the,
honorable?
They were honorable. I want to talk. I mean, we did talk about Moana, but I just wanted to call out that one scene, which was Shiny by Tamatoa,
Yeah.
played by Jermaine in Moana, which is one of the funniest moments from this year period. Like
Easily.
it's for that reason alone, Jishnu, you should watch the movie. It is
I
hilarious.
fully intend to.
It's got Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords, and he's just doing what he does best, which is just be out and out funny. And this through song. He's like, I'll do it in song form. He basically says, I'm going to tell you why I'm so evil. And he's like, but I'll do it in song form.
That
It
moment was funny.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
incredible. It was incredible. That song itself was just like the whole movie's win. That's one thing. The second notable mention, which you guys haven't watched, which I already spoke about, which is Westworld, which is an amazing show.
Yep.
Which is on HBO. It's on Hotstar. You guys should check it out. It's easily one of it's that hard hitting science fiction.
We should definitely do an episode on it
We
in
will
like
definitely.
early Jan.
Yeah,
do that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Post-haste,
I,
yeah.
I enjoyed it like in terms of science fiction. I enjoyed it way more than like say Black Mirror. Black Mirror is obviously very anthology kind of like there's
Yeah.
different films. So this has one cohesive story, which is very kind of hard to follow at some points, but like it's slow, but it asks some really important science
Sure.
fiction questions. So we
No,
should
I'm very excited.
we should definitely get
Yeah.
to Westworld. It's got
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins. It's amazing.
I only didn't see it because I was trying my best to catch up with
On
Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
to get
So
up to
when,
Rogue One.
sorry, you finished season 1.
I finished season 1.
Okay,
and,
cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm all caught up with Rebels, and I finished season 1.
Sorry. Also, second note, which really disappointed me from your episode on Rogue One. How have you guys not seen John Wick? Oh my god, the movie's amazing. That movie is amazing, and John Wick Chapter 2 is coming out, so guys, please watch it.
Yes.
Oh god, I had to get that off my chest. All right. And final notable mention from this year, again, a movie which I don't know why people haven't watched, The Accountant. Please watch The Accountant. It is the Batman
it's the
movie,
Bruce Wayne movie.
that we deserved.
Yeah.
I swear that was the only, that was the redeeming quality of the DC universe, which is not from the DC universe. And a lot of people have trashed this movie. It's got a bad score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
And like people saying, it's weird, isn't it? All that stuff.
He does
I
too
thought-
much accounts.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great action movie. I thought it was like one of the highlights of this year for me. Which I don't know why. Again,
You are the one person who's been saying this, though. I don't get it.
About the accountant.
About the accountant.
just say-
He's the only person that I know has been talking about it at all. Like,
yeah,
I've never heard of anybody. Nobody's brought this up
You
in
know
any
why?
context.
Because it was such a pleasant surprise. Like we went into the movie because I had seen the trailer. It had Batfleck, and I'm a big fan. And I can't remember. It's directed by Gavin O'Connor. I can't remember what exactly he made, but it was just like a simple movie. About not a simple movie at all, but like it was just like a new plot, new story, which we die for here.
Yeah.
And great action, not espionage, but like he's basically like this guy who has Asperger's syndrome, and he's great with numbers and great with calculation. Because of that, he gets hired by really dangerous individuals to clear their
To do their
accounts.
taxes?
To do their to do their taxes and laundering. It's awesome, and their money laundering and things like that. And so he gets under the suspicion of J.K. Simmons, who's friggin' Gordon.
Cool.
And it's Gordon and Batman in the movie. And I swear the action is awesome, and the Punisher's also there. John
Wow.
Bernthal, he's
Okay.
also there. It's a cool film. It's a really cool film. I think it's very underrated, and it's got a great ending. You guys got to watch it.
It will be watched.
Yeah,
It will be watched.
watch it. Just have a drink. Don't keep expecting. It's just a good action film. All right.
Sure,
All right.
sure.
So that was my third notable mention, and we come now finally to the last movie that we will be discussing because we already did it last week, which was Rogue One. But the WTF moment was obviously Princess Leia and the CGI verse. Now,
Yeah.
I definitely want to do an article on how many faces have been remade through technology. Anthony Hopkins has that happen to him in a prequel
Westworld?
scene in Westworld, yeah, which is extremely weird because it's just it's a very small scene, but they've done it and it's for the story, and we're just seeing more and more instances of this. I mean, the first time it happened in Gladiator when they first had to use CGI to kind of make up for the loss of an actor who had passed away during the process of film. They've done it with, so I brought up Tron as well when they made
They had CGI Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges as a CGI younger guy.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Walker.
Jesus, yeah, that one.
Paul Walker from the movie series that you haven't even seen.
Exactly.
Which made me
But that
cry at
wasn't
the end.
CGI, was it?
It was CGI.
Oh,
It was a
yeah?
lot of CGI and a lot of like body
The
doubles
brother.
and his brother. But the ending scene is completely that, and it broke me, man, because that was a really emotional scene. And Fast and Furious, no less. But like, it was really, really interesting. And now Grand Moff Tarkin is.
I saw the movie again last night.
Yeah.
And
How did it hold up? Like the second time first of all, the overall.
just in general? Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, and
it's still so good. And that third act still like, man, oh
Sorry,
man.
so yeah, I know you guys played off my voice notes, and I did say Darth Vader's unnecessary. What I meant was his presence in the earlier scenes was kind of like
Yeah, no.
it was just
No, absolutely.
that you're right. You were totally
That-
on that last moment is
is-
incredible. It is.
Christ.
It really, really does live
It's
for the film. Yeah.
just,
So.
wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Moff Tarkin's CGI though, basically when I saw it the second time around, the first time, like I said, if you heard the episode, I mentioned that I went in blind. Willingly, I went in knowing absolutely nothing, which I'm so glad I did. So when I saw Grand Moff Tarkin, I was just dumbstruck because
Yeah,
I had no
so
idea
was
he was
I.
coming. So I was like, what the hell? And it was beautiful because I was like, oh my god, I'm seeing Tarkin. I love Tarkin.
Yeah.
And it was great. The CGI didn't really bug me. Now, the second time around, I went in with a more of a critical eye, and I just wanted to sort of really assess it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about seeing it the second time around was that I noticed his eyes a lot more, because that's obviously the one thing that they needed to keep constant with the actor. And I forget his name, but he's a dude in the Harry Potter films. Once you see him, you'll immediately see why he was chosen to be Tarkin. Like, he looks very.
Oh, right.
He's got a
Okay,
very
cool,
similar
cool,
thing
cool.
about him. But
So who
the
voiced
weird-
him, by the way? I just wanted
I don't
to know.
actually know. That is a very good
I
question. I was
believe
wondering
it
that.
was they recut.
No, I can't. I can't do this.
No.
No,
It's
No, no,
impossible.
no, no,
he
no,
was
no, no.
revoiced.
He must have been
just
revoiced.
like somebody that does an impression.
Yeah,
a really
because-
good impression.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. That's not that hard.
And yeah, you can find out of 6
Yeah.
million people,
You
they
can
have the
find
money to
somebody
hire
you
that
can find
guy.
somebody to do that. Like, but what I'm getting at is the weird thing when I watched the second time around, just because I was like scrutinizing the visual effect, I got such a hard Bill Nighy thing correlation. Like, just the way like his lips move. And,
Yeah,
like,
Bill Nighy could have
pouty
played
face.
Tarkin, though.
Like, yeah, just like a really like tight jaw, tight lip
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
motion. But then
They got the sneer right. It was
yeah,
good.
so it was weird. But no, it doesn't bug me, like I kind of said on the episode. It doesn't bug me too much.
You're
It's
right.
fine. It's a great movie. He was used well. It was so rewarding to see him again. It was
Yeah.
handled just right. I'm a fan. I'm fine with it.
No,
don't really
I
care.
think you're right in saying that it's cool and it's fine because it was treated well. But there's an ethical issue here, which is that how these characters who are going to be reused, maybe for advertisements, maybe in television series, who knows, but they have to be handled well. It's a moral obligation, I feel.
Yeah.
And also you need to get permission from the estate. But some people don't know what they're doing. The kids, grandkids won't know how much. They're just getting a lot of money. They'll say yes to anything. So that could raise an issue. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think Rogue One and the Princess Leia at the end. I mean, for me that worked fine. It was great.
Oh no, absolutely.
It was great to see her. I thought we'd never see something like this.
I
That's
know.
the thing, you know.
It was the weirdest feeling to have when after seeing the whole Vader sequence happen, I was
Yeah.
like, what else do you got? I was like, damn, you're done.
Yeah.
It's like you've won.
Yeah.
You freaking did it.
Yeah.
And then you see the shot of the shuttle leaving, and then like some random dude holding a hard drive. Like, okay, wow, there's more to come. All right, how much more? And I realized that both this movie and Force Awakens ends with almost the exact same kind of shot. Reveal of a character, just staring down the camera or just like looking off the camera and like, holy crap, I'm looking at you. And that is the ending.
That's the ending.
Look at this person.
Yeah, that's the end.
Revel
that's so
in
true.
the fact that you're looking at this person.
Or rebel in the fact. But yeah, man, I definitely enjoyed it. Somebody put up a really funny meme saying leaked footage from the sequel to Rogue One, and it's just like shots from New Hope. That was really great.
I also did, like, just the other day, I did see a little bit of New Hope again, and the opening like 20 minutes when Vader is on the ship and he interrogates everybody. Rogue One made New Hope better in ways that all three of the prequels never made the original trilogies better.
You're right.
Because
Absolutely.
every single statement in the opening sequence of the New Hope, when he's like the iconic lines of "You're part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor," like "There's no escape for you
So
this
much
time."
meaning.
Like it just has context now. It's like, and I know what you mean. I can see your frustration. I know
Dude,
where you're at. It's
my
good.
mother saw the movie. Okay, she's a big Star Wars fan, and she called it. We spoke about it. We nerded out for a bit, and she was just like, "But like, tell me something." She's like, "No, so this is just before like Star Wars." I was like, "Yeah, this is like," and I was like, she's like, "How did they come up with this idea?" I was like, it was literally like, there's that line, she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember, that they, stole the Death Star plans." And she's like, "Did they actually just make this film on a couple of words?" And I was just like, "Yes, they did that. That is crazy." Right? My only thing was that, I don't know if I missed this, but like, are there any... What was the whole thing about many Bothans died to receive this information? Who
That's
were the Bothans?
about the second Death Star.
That's the second Death Star?
Yes.
Okay, so then in the first movie, what is exactly the line or something? Many people died to get this information, or do they just say
In the
recovered
first one, there's no mention of it other than the opening crawl.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
Then
right.
when they're building the second Death Star,
then they say
that's
many
when
Bothans.
Mothma comes
So
in and
that's
says
the sequel
many.
to Rogue One then. Rogue 8. It's going to be
No,
like the
we-
Krish Trio films.
I mean, I wouldn't be
Skip a
surprised. I
number.
wouldn't be surprised if with Han Solo we end up following Lando to Cloud City.
Yeah, I
and
think
seeing-
Lando is Donald Glover, right?
Yeah,
so-
we know we're getting Lando. That's definitely happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sort of take a page off of this and like maybe we see Hoth for like a hot second.
Okay, for a hot second.
I see what you did.
Amazing. But, Kirami, answer me this one question. So now the Star Wars universe has been divided into saga film. The saga film follows the Skywalker lineage.
Yeah.
And we have now the anthology films, which are
Yeah.
Star Wars stories.
Yeah.
But will they ever make, say, a Guardians of the Galaxy type film, which is a completely different story, which doesn't have anything to do with the events of what we've already seen? That's my thing, because the next movie that's coming out is Han Solo. The one after that, they've toyed with the Boba Fett idea again.
Yeah.
So that might kind of branch off.
Yeah.
But like, are they ever going to do something which is not like
Not related to anything. right?
anything,
Like, just
a completely different side of the universe where there's the Empire maybe doesn't even exist?
Yeah.
Or like
So-
you know what? So just to why I'm saying this is because that's what Rebels does. Like obviously
Kind
Rebels
of,
has
yeah.
kind of gotten into this, and Clone Wars have done it as well, where they've gotten into parts of the universe where the Jedi and the Sith are like literally small pawns of what
Yeah.
a grander force could be. Like there's gray Jedi. There's so many weirder parts of the galaxy that we haven't seen that are there in like say. Shadows of the Empire, like the novelized, the expanded universe stuff, which is now what's it called? It's called the expanded
It's still
universe.
called the
now.
expanded universe.
Yeah,
But
which is
it's
not canon
Non-canon, yeah.
But yeah, man, how cool would that be? Because they brought back Thrawn and things like that. It would be awesome to see different stories, like
I
which are
think
not.
maybe when the next, say, 4 movies, when the next 2 saga movies and
Are done, yeah.
Han Solo and whatever third one is are successful,
Yeah.
then they might have the freedom to actually do that. Because
Yeah,
right now
but-
they're playing it safe.
Yeah, they
honestly.
are. Kind
They're-
of.
I
This is
mean,
as safe as it gets.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're insuring themselves against making a terrible movie by tying it into so many things we love already. So
Yeah.
I think we're a while away from seeing that. But yeah,
Okay.
it would be awesome.
It would be
Yeah.
awesome to see a standalone film, like again, completely different. And then, like, maybe it ends with something that is related to maybe, like... And it could be set in any time, and then suddenly you see, like, a really old Rey, and then she's just like... And you're just like, wow, this is crazy. I love seeing different parts
You
of the
have
entire line.
Mars.
Yeah. Exactly,
who's,
Maz Kanata, yeah.
Bazillion, how many thousand years
yeah,
old or something?
apparently as old as
Yeah.
Yoda or something.
Yeah,
Or,
so-
well, older because she's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. So that would be great. Okay, cool. So that was Rogue One. Let's see what we had to say about this very quickly.
Not any kind of Star Wars film. What is it?
It's the first solo flick,
Spin-off.
first spin-off film,
One shot.
if you will. There is talks that the guy who is going to be young Harrison Ford in the one that will come
Young
out in
Han Solo.
2018, young, yeah, whatever, you potato. who will be in the Han Solo solo flick that'll come out in 2019. 18? Yeah. Will feature in this movie as well.
Which is why they're trying to cast them very quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
But they've already started production on it.
Yeah, there are already some stills and all that out, which are really nice.
And so I read this last night that apparently they're still like 2 or 3 weeks at least away from casting the new Han Solo. But they're already in production for this movie.
Can I be very honest?
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to a young Han Solo film.
I'm not. Oh, of course. Who the hell is? Why would you?
Because
go?
you know what I am, what I really want though, which everybody wants.
Yeah.
I want to see Ewan McGregor play Obi-Wan again. Like I want to see him do a film between 3 and 4 as Obi-Wan.
That would actually be.
I mean, now with this whole theory which we by the way completely missed, that Rey is a Kenobi.
Yeah.
So that's a great theory, man.
Oh, I love that.
I can't believe I skipped that theory. That's a great theory. But yeah, man, I would love to see that. Rogue One, I am excited though. It looks really cool. It looks like this has been said before, but like the Saving Private Ryan of the Star Wars film. First anthology film. It's going to be good, man.
So good.
Cool. So Han Solo didn't make it into this film, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't. I'm still not looking forward to his Han Solo film.
I am looking forward to it.
Though we
now.
did find out who they've cast now.
Yeah, this is true. And I'm still
But
not looking forward
after
to
seeing
yeah.
Rogue One, I am excited now.
I mean, I'm excited as I will always be excited for a Star Wars film, but like in terms of, like I said, I'd much rather see Ewan McGregor. And dude, if they don't bring him back, that would be like the dumbest decision they've made. He's still young. He's in the perfect age right now between Alec Guinness's age and between what he played in the movies, obviously. And like, it's perfect. Why? But here's the other thing. They're always trapped in this between 3 and 4, timeline. Because Han Solo film is also going to be trapped between that timeline.
Yeah.
So they
Han
can't.
Solo is between 3 and 4? I thought it was
Yeah.
pre-3. No?
Yeah, it's as in, oh, sorry.
Pre-3.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Yeah,
My bad. I
Pre-
got totally
pre-4.
confused there.
Yeah.
Between the prequels and the
Yeah.
sequels?
Somewhere where Rogue One is.
Yeah.
It's linear to Rogue One in some capacity.
Got it. My
Yeah,
bad.
like in the background, you'll suddenly see like a ship or something going. It's like, oh, something happened on Scarif? That's weird. Okay. Yeah, we don't go there to smuggle. But yeah, man, is there any other place they could... I mean, why aren't they making a movie between 6 and 7? Or is it too close to what they're already doing, I suppose?
Because you need to get old Harrison Ford again.
But no, I'm saying not about like Harrison Ford, but I'm saying just generally, if you have to make a standalone film, like these Star Wars, they should start making stuff in between 6. That's the only other entry point, right?
The only other space they
No,
have left.
actually, no. You could see the build up to Hoth. You could see like a post 4.
But again, do we?
You could see the rise. You could see the rise of the Empire. I would love to see an Empire protagonist film.
Yeah, this is
I would
true.
love to see because the
Suicide
Empire's
Squad.
freaking exactly because the Empire's freaking cool. Seeing
what, we're
how they
some
come
kind of
back,
empire.
seeing how they come back after New Hope, like it would be great.
That
to
is what
just
they're
follow
doing
Darth
in
Vader.
the comics.
Oh, where?
There's a Darth Vader comic series,
Which is right after
literally
4?
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. It's
Okay,
not
so
after 4.
What would be cool to see is how the First Order was created, like which is after
Yeah.
6.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
that would be
That'd be
cool.
great, yeah.
Just
Maybe
basically,
that'll come once this trilogy is done.
Maybe.
yeah.
Because they can't do
I
it
don't know.
while the trilogy is happening, no?
I mean,
You can't do like episode
could.
7 prequel, episode 8. That's,
They're really-
it's just getting really
They can do
confusing.
what the hell they want, man.
they
Like
can.
I
do
said,
everything.
they just make a 15-second Instagram video of Jar Jar Binks and take my money. Like, I mean, I'll watch anything they
This
make.
is true.
So,
I mean, my dream is to see a Rebels character in the movies. Like, I would love to see a
I know,
Rebels movie,
seriously.
man. But
Yeah, I know.
but let's see. Anyway,
Yeah.
there's plenty of stuff to
I
go around.
I want to pose a question to our listeners. So you just Tejas just showed us a little meme before we got into the studio today. A screen grab of Rogue One, of the shot of them in the hangar bay
At
when they're
Yavin,
on Yavin, just as about to head off to Scarif. And it was a shot of Jar Jar, or a Gungan of some sort that looks
Yeah.
very Jar Jar-like, in the background, behind the guys, just casually being a Gungan.
Jishnu's
Now,
calling it out. He's saying it's a bluff.
I think it's a fake because I feel like if that was actually in the movie, somebody would have seen it.
Well,
and
somebody
it would
did
be like,
see it. It's a meme.
But I feel like it would be headline news because that is bigger than The Boy Who Lived.
Because I'll
that
tell
is
you why,
bigger than
you
Harry
can't,
Potter
You
Survives.
can't
That is like
confirm because all Gungans look the same, so I don't
True.
want to stereotype them.
absolutely.
But like,
No, I
that's true.
I agree completely. But I feel like I would. It's been a week since the movie's been out. I feel like this would have been much bigger headline
also,
news.
what do
So-
they have to lose by including like a Jar Jar
No,
in the back?
absolutely.
It
No,
could have
true,
been
true,
one
true.
designer's like,
that's
I'm
why.
just gonna
That's
put
why.
this guy
If
in.
anybody else listening has seen this and knows what we're talking about, or has seen this meme, or saw it in the film when you actually
post it
saw
on the Geek Food page.
Please write in and let me know because I'm very curious because this is exciting because
Because apart from
I want to see the
everyone,
redemption of
Jishnu
Jar
wants
Jar.
to see the redemption of Jar
I want to
Jar.
see the redemption of Jar Jar Binks, man. Or, well, not the redemption.
Maybe
I
he
just wanna
could
see
be in
that-
the Han Solo film.
I want to see the execution of it.
Maybe Han Solo
The
kills Jar Jar.
execution of
Dude,
him.
what a movie that would be,
Oh
right?
my
Like,
God.
imagine the penultimate moment is like Jar Jar and he gets shot by Han Solo and he's like, well, I didn't know how important you were before this.
They could flip it. They could make Jar Jar sacrifice his life for Han Solo.
Jar Jar's done enough redemption tactics
Yeah,
in
exactly.
the second and third
Yeah.
film where you realize he pretty much caused the rise of the Empire, right? Like we know
absolutely,
this
absolutely.
because he gives what emergency powers to Palpatine.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that guy.
Anyway,
Oh
on that
my
note,
gosh.
I think we're done.
That was
I'm
that
done.
was the year.
Yes.
I also like
I'm
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just want to put that out there. I enjoyed it, and yeah, that's it.
Cool.
And Zootopia, sorry, amazing film.
Also a great movie.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's our show. Thanks for listening. And if we spoiled anything for you, we warned you. That was all we did.
That's fair.
If you have any thoughts on any of the films that came out this year, if you have any other reviews or any thoughts on trends, can you make a funnier superhero film than Deadpool, which we didn't discuss? Well, we don't know, but we'll have to find out. So find us in our next episode. We're going to be talking about 2017. We're going to be doing exactly what we did earlier this year, which is count them off, rattle off the big ones, and talk about what we think, whether they're going to be epic or fail, or neither, or both. And yeah, find us also online. Geekfruit.in is where all our reviews from this year are housed, and some editorials as well. And you can also find us on social media at Geekfruit HQ on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yes.
Cool. All right, that's our show. Happy New Year, guys!
Happy
Oh,
New
yeah.
Year, guys.
And
That thing.
yes,
And holidays.
live long,
A nerdy New Year to you.
prosper. There's no nerdy. No. Happy Geekmas, guys. Happy Nerdoween. That's what Nerdist does. Screw those guys.
Yeah.
See you later,
Bye.
you nerds. So I know a lot of nerds react excessively when they hear the abbreviation D&D. But for a change, I'm not talking about Dungeons & Dragons, but in fact, drinks and destinations. Yes, that's right, nerd. You can learn about wines and spirits and the places they come from via hosts Rojita and Samira. Catch Drinks and Destinations anywhere you listen to podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, or even the IVM podcast app.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts.
to catch some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.